Alrighty, so it is arm day today. It's a little, I'm sitting here with the heated seats on and like blasting the heat even at 60 degrees. I don't know, I'm just so cold. But, what I want to do, well, today's plan for arms is going to be just some type of bicep curls and then some type of, I don't know, we might do tricep pull downs this time because we've been doing the over the head, which is an amazing workout for your triceps, but thinking about doing it differently, and we'll do some pull downs. But so one thing I get asked a lot is what advice I'd give someone who started out where I was at 350 pounds and like what they should do. Honestly, like a lot of people think you should just immediately go into a cut, right? You're 350 pounds, you're just getting started. I don't think that's the play. I don't think you immediately just go 100 and just like get into a cut and just start going crazy, right? I think you burn out. I think a lot of stuff will happen. So what I think is you do what I did, right? So I think first you work on counting your protein. So you start counting your calories and just track everything, right? I don't care if you eat Dairy Queen, tons of junk food, like just count it, right? Just pick up your app, be like, I had a Whopper with cheese, blah, 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 and just throw it in your app, right? Just count everything. Don't worry about, just worry about getting it down. Worry about learning how to track. But what I would say is focus on protein, right? So let's get your protein to like at least 250 grams. If you're 350 pounds, let's at least get it 250 grams. And then just start working out, right? And I mean, just lifting, right? So I'd recommend, unless you want to work out every single day and you fall in love with it, just 3 times a week or 4 times a week. You can do the push-pull legs, or you can do more of like a upper, lower body. So you have your upper body day, lower body day, and just really focus on like compounds and stuff like that. But starting at 350 pounds, it's really hard to do. It hurts. I've been there, and cardio hurts. Everything hurts. So I would focus mostly on just getting used to the machines, right? Just going through the machines, maybe doing upper body, and then next day doing lower body. Take a rest day, maybe take 2 rest days, then hit upper body again, hit lower body again. Or I would do kind of like how I do, where I work out every day, especially if you fall in love with it. I would do that kind of routine. Just focusing on that 250 grams of protein and hitting the lifts and still eating whatever you want, you're going to start putting on muscle. And then your strength's going to start going up. But what's going to happen is you're going to start dropping a little bit of fat. And you're going to be like, you might see changes on the scale, you might not, but you'll start noticing more physical changes. So you'll notice more strength, things become easier to do, you're less out of breath. I'd also throw cardio in there, like 30 minutes on the seated bike every single day, except for leg days or rest days. But just those simple steps, right? Just even if you don't even want to do cardio, you don't even have to do cardio. Like you can just get used to lifting, doing all that stuff. And then you're going to put muscle on. And then you're going to feel your strength going up. You're going to start feeling better. You're going to start feeling better mentally. Even though you haven't changed anything about your food yet. Well, I guess the only thing you change, right, is getting in more protein. Then you might even start doing a little where you start dropping a little bit of fat, where all of a sudden it's like, actually I've lost a couple inches. Like I haven't seen any changes on the scale because I'm gaining muscle, but my clothes are fitting looser, right? So my pants, I went down a pant size. That stuff starts happening. And I think that starts just building confidence, and that starts building help building that changes in your mindset. And that's what really helped change my mindset. Then we'll be like, okay, I love the changes. I love what I'm going through. Now I do want to change my food. Now I want to start eating a little bit more cleaner, a little bit less calories, right? So we're going to go figure out what our maintenance calories is at. And then we're just going to only go like 200-300 calories under that, right? And we're going to take it slow. Take it slow. Like, I would seriously take 2 to 3 years of a good change, right? So like, and that's like losing fat, putting on muscle like a really good 3 solid years. And that's the mindset I would have. I'd be like, I wouldn't have a mindset of like, I need it quick and I need it now. That's kind of like what I did. My mindset was, I need 3, or like, I'm going to give myself 3 years to really work hard at it. Then just changing those things where you're like, okay, now my calories, okay, now I'm counting my calories. I'm counting every single thing. I'm going to only go to 2,500 calories, not no more. I'm going to still get 250 grams of protein in. I'm going to hit my cardio, hit my lift. Then you take it day by day, right? You don't focus on you don't focus weeks or months. You focus day by day. So if you sit there and you execute that day and you go, okay, today I stayed in a deficit, check, hit my workout, check, hit my cardio, check. Do that every single day, right? Because then if you make it a day thing, all those days are going to add up to good weeks, and then all those good weeks are going to add up to good months, and then those good months are going to add up to good years. And that goes for anyone, right? Like I can even utilize this right now. And so the reason why you want to take it day by day like that is you don't want to look at it as a week, because when you start looking at it as a week, some people start getting into that mindset was like, well, I've been locked in Monday through Friday, so I'm going to go crazy on Saturday and Sunday, and then get back on plan on Monday, and then they go weigh themselves on Monday and no changes happen, and they stay the same, and months will go by and they stay the same because they took it at a week, and they're like, well, I've been locked in for the rest of the week, so I'll just take it whatever on Saturday, and then they ruin their whole progress. So that's why I say you take it day by day. And when you take it day by day and you just check everything off, all of a sudden all those days add up, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and you look in the mirror and you're like, dude, I see a bicep vein. Like, what the heck? Like, oh my gosh, now I'm in a large, I used to have to wear extra large. And by doing that is how you really succeed. You just to make sure every single day you execute and check off the boxes, right? So that is just the way I would do it. That's the way I've been doing it, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, that's the way to do it. In my opinion, that's 100% the way to do it. But give yourself more time, right? So that you can take breaks. So if you're 350 pounds and you need 140 pounds to lose, give yourself a good solid 2 years of to lose that weight, right? And so that means, okay, we're going to go into a cutting phase, right? So we're going to cut for 4 months, and then we're going to take 3 months off, and then we're going to go to maintenance, worry about just putting on more muscle, and then we're going to go cut for 4 months again, and then take a 3-month break. This one I'm kind of pushing because I just want to get the rest of the fat off, or I would have already taken a break. So I definitely would have took another break, but I think I'm to the point where I'm just like, let's just push and get the last little bit off, you know what I mean? So that's what I would do. So, and that's what I did. So that's my honest take on it. So I get a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram who reach out to me, and Facebook, and then I refer them to these videos because that's why I talk about it a lot. So then people can watch these videos and be like, let me do this and let me try this. Because one big thing that helped me out starting was I watched Sam Sulek, and a lot of things you'll notice is I'll talk a lot like him and kind of have the same opinion on some of the stuff he says, but not always 100%, because I used him as my coach. So I watched his videos and binge watched his videos. And I remember finding his videos the first day I started at the gym, and I was just so lost and I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to go on YouTube and look at YouTube. And I found the Trend Twins. And I was like, oh, these guys seem awesome, so I'm going to follow them. But I was like, I can't really follow along what they're doing, And so I was just looking through, and then, I was going through the old Rich Piana videos and just going through all these videos. And then all of a sudden Sam's came up. And I watched Sam's, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's giving so much good information. He's giving me the information I need to make the change. He's giving me. So then I went back all the way to his first ever video he posted, and I just seriously binged watched all his videos. And this was when I was about to be down for my surgeries. I was going through a bunch of stuff, going to the doctors twice a week, and me and Megan were traveling more. And so I didn't really have much else to do but hit the gym and just binge watch Sam. And then I just started implementing every little thing he was talking about, right? And then I started training like him, and that's when like everything just took off for me. My muscles started growing. I started recomping, and the only thing that I did differently, but because he talks more about like, if you got fat to lose, just go on the cut and get it over with. But I took breaks, right? So that's the only thing I didn't like really take his advice on. Like I needed to do it like at my own pace and at my own way of doing it with that, because I noticed when I would try to lock in too hard, then I would go crazy and bingey and just destroy the progress. So that's just where also you got to be careful where you get your information from, because when you're 350 pounds, you've been binge eating, you've been going crazy on your food, all these things for a long time, or even possibly for your whole life as even a kid, because that's what I did even as a kid. And I used it as a coping mechanism, food, to deal with a lot of things. So our brains are wired differently. And so when you hear people that go, oh, just lock in and just stay in the diet for a long time until you get the rest of the fat off, that might not work for you. You might have to take refeed days and take breaks and do all these things. You know what I mean? You'll see a lot of social media posts about like, oh, if you go to Chick-fil-A, just order their grilled chicken nuggets, and that's 500 calories, so many grams of protein. That doesn't fill me up. And I know a lot of people who weighed as much as I did, that's not going to fill you up either. So that's why you got to eat more volume. And you're going to have to take your refeed days. You're going to have to take it slower than someone who can just sit there and just like completely lock in, who hasn't been at this weight. Because then what I notice is this happen, and I've seen this with creators who are bigger and heavier in that 300 pound range, where they lock in and they're going crazy for 3 or 4 months, and they're just doing so well, and they lost like 50-60 pounds, and then they just fall off the wagon and they go back into their old eating habits and they go freaking crazy. And that is because they just took away all this stuff and just kept taking away instead of adding to it and building off of that, if that makes sense. So meaning like they took away 100% of fast food instead of keeping their favorite foods in their diet. They took away all these things instead of just like, okay, you know what? I can still have my McDonald's that I like. I'll just make it a refeed day, and every 3 weeks go crazy on McDonald's and ice cream, right? No, they totally took that away. And so that's why a lot of people fall off. So I watched Sam, learned everything I could from him, and really used him as my coach, and it has turned out pretty well for me. So that's where I really tell you guys is be careful who you follow on social media and what advice you take, because you might be completely wired different than that person. So if you're 350 pounds and you go watch, for example, Higher Up Wellness, and he on TikTok, and he's like, hey, just get this meal and be good, blah, 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 that might not work for you. You might have to add the mac and cheese. You might have to go ahead and get creative and add more protein, or even more like, add something to the meal to make it bigger and more filling for you. So that's my whole spiel right now. I've been talking for like 14 minutes. So let's get in there and get a freaking arm pump, and because everyone's in there going hard and getting hard. So let's get in there and get hard with everyone. I don't know if that sounded right, but whatever. This was a pretty good arm day. Oh, it feels like really good pump. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I waited longer during the day. It's like 5 o'clock. Had a couple meals in me, over 100 grams of carbs right now. So like the pump is just better. I think that's probably what it is. I noticed that like my pumps are much better when I wait until later in the day. But arms are looking pretty freaking good, guys. That's so freaking awesome, man. Oh my gosh, that's so badass. I'm getting really excited now. The leaner I get, and the more that you could just see the definition, is this crazy. Holy cow. Awesome. Well, another good freaking lift. So tomorrow is leg day. Tomorrow leg day? Yeah. Tomorrow's leg day. So we've got to hit arm or legs tomorrow, probably first thing in the morning. But I don't know. I kind of thinking if I should wait now. I like the waiting today for my arms. Like more hydrated, more just carbs in my system before the lift. It just helped. I don't know. I like it better. I really don't get how people hit workouts fasted. I don't like it. I don't think I get as good pump. But yeah, just keep going, guys. Keep pushing. I already talked a lot at the beginning of the video, so I won't talk too much here at the end. And just remember where you started. Take progress videos, take progress photos, and just keep back. And you know what? Even post them to social media. Not to get like popular or anything, but just to go look back at yourself, and you just have your own diary that you can go back and look at all your progress. So I'll see you guys on tomorrow's leg day.